This is the Amy Edwards Show, and we are here to uplevel our lives in every way at every age. Let's go.
I bring up stuff like 4,300 people a day dying of processed foods, but here's the solution. Stop buying processed foods. Now you're out of it. There's no sense of getting upset about it or pissed off about it, or because all those emotions, those negative low vibe emotions are going to create, cortisol to spike and adrenaline to spike, and you're going to destroy yourself from the inside out. Just go, oh, they chose to do that, but I choose to do this.
Hello, welcome to the show, you guys. Are you ready? Are you ready to lessen your inflammation and feel really good in your body? I'm always ready for that. Body-mind connection is a real thing too. So we're jumping in today with someone who has a long list of titles behind his name. It is Tim James. Let's say first, he is the founder of Chemical Free Body, but he is also a coach, a speaker, an author, a chef, a supplement formulator, a yoga instructor, a musician. I feel like I'm talking about myself kind of, Tim, because I have a long list of things that I do as well. And so I just
planted some garlic too.
And you're a garlic aficionado and planter, a garlic father. So you have your wellness brand, Chemical Free Body. It is dedicated to helping people detoxify, rebuild their gut, and reclaim vibrant health naturally. You have had years of chronic illness, multiple surgeries, and you've lost loved ones to cancer, and you made a radical decision to change everything. Your own healing journey has led to the discovery that the body's natural detox pathways, when supported, can reverse years of toxicity and inflammation. That is such a big conversation these days, too. And now you're helping thousands of people through education, supplements, walking the walk of what you talk. And you have your own podcast, The Health Hero Show, and you're always sharing tools to build a clean body and a clear mind. And your philosophy is simple: change yourself, change your world. I love that so much. It is so true, such a paradox. And I'm thrilled to have you here today. And how do you see that practice really reflected in your own life on a daily basis?
Well, everything I do that I'm doing now in business is just an extension of me getting healthy. Going from a person who grew up on the standard American diet and processed foods, which, by the way, 4,300 people today will die of processed foods in the United States.
Oh my God.
Yesterday,
really?
4,300 people died of processed foods in the United States. Tomorrow, 4,300. So it's a 9/11 and a half event every day.
How do you actually figure that out? I mean, is it the heart disease, diabetes? Is it these things that are so related to processed food? I'm wondering how you get that metric.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the website because I looked it up so long ago, but it's online and people can look up the statistics of how many. It's legitimate, right? And then I've experienced it too, just in my own right, because what happened is I grew up on a farm. We had cattle and hay farm. I was hunting and fishing, kind of a redneck, did some tobacco chewing for a short period of time during college and stuff when I was playing baseball there, and don't do that anymore.
Oh, you're required to do that if you start playing baseball.
You're kind of required, yeah. You have to do it.
It's a rite of passage.
You're cutting. I put myself through college cutting firewood, but anyway, so
wow.
You grew up out in nature. We had a big garden, and it was great, and like fresh foods and picking apples. Like I just picked some apples last week and get them ready. It's awesome, right? But what ended up happening is that there's this thing called life, and I eventually had a couple kids and got a house, became a financial advisor, and I, wasn't as active, and I was eating all these processed foods, and they caught up to me. So I was 42 pounds overweight. I had eczema all over my body, especially my knees and my elbows, cracking and bleeding, sticking to my shirts. And as a financial advisor, I'd be doing presentations, and people were like, Tim, your elbow's bleeding, and the red was coming through the white shirt.
Oh.
And then so I had to switch to dark black shirts so that I was still bleeding because I'd move it, especially in the winter. It was really bad. And then I'd have to sometimes get home, take all my clothes off, and then get into the shower with my shirt on to loosen it up because it was painful to rip it off. Okay.
Oh my
gosh. And this was a daily occurrence. I had acid reflux so bad that I had Tums and Rolaids like in my car, at my office, in my pickup, and next to the couch where I would sit and watch TV and stuff and shows.
Yeah.
I was like constantly eating Tums and Rolaids. And so acid reflux sucks. It's not fun having that burn deal. And then eventually I started, there was a whole bunch of I had another skin issue on my shoulder, mental fog, all that, wasn't sleeping well. And then I started pooping blood, right? And so I had bright red blood from anal tears because my poop was like rock hard, like rocks. And then I had this dark red blood from internal bleeding. So I had severe gastrointestinal issues. That finally came to a head on a vacation down in Peru. When I was with my wife, we planned it all out. Her dad, who was a medical doctor, who had never had a vacation in like 30 years, like he's there with us. He's having a great old time, and we're out fishing. And all of a sudden, I'm not feeling good. And him and the captain of the boat's like, oh, he's got motion sickness. And I'm like, look, guys, I don't get sick. I fish in the Oregon coast. Every time I go to Hawaii, I don't get motion sickness, but they disregarded it. When I got back, I wasn't getting any better. And then him being a medical doctor, he's touched me. He's like, oh, appendicitis. Because, and he's like, we have to get you to the hospital. And so we packed all our stuff in the middle of our trip and went to the airport, and we missed the plane flight. There's only one plane flight out of there per day. We missed it by like 15, 20 minutes. And so what are we going to do now? I need to get operated on like now. And so he's like, we can't wait. So we rented a van, and then he drove me down this bumpy road 6 hours through the middle of the night to the nearest hospital in Peoria. And let me tell you what, that ride was the most horrible thing ever, because every bump was like somebody was stabbing me in the stomach with a ice pick or something.
Oh my gosh.
My wife kind of held me. It was bump, 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 boom, boom.
Oh my God.
Boom, boom. 6 hours of this. When I got to the
6
hospital,
hours. Holy.
6 hours, and I was sweating. The paper money in my wallet was wet, right?
Wow.
And I was a mess, right? So this appendix was about ready to explode. And then I get there at the examination room, and there's like 500 bugs flying around. It's like a MASH unit. It's old. There's not a lot of money there. All the instruments look like they were from the 50s and stuff.
Oh my God. This gives me
So I'm like, oh, this isn't good.
anxiety.
And they're all talking Spanish 100 miles an hour. And then her dad didn't want them to operate because he had like the first or second largest. He was running this big clinic in Lima, state of the art, the best. They got 20 million people there. And so he got the OR ready, facilitate on the phone, booked a commercial airline. And so nobody knew it, but I was being life flighted on the commercial airline. I took the next flight out of there to Lima, and they put me in a taxi, and then I got out of the taxi, and they threw me on a gurney, and I went right into surgery. And those doctors and the nurses, they saved my life, right? So they did emergency surgery. And what people don't understand is that Western medicine was literally created and born out of crisis care, out of wartime. Somebody gets their arm blown off, or they get shrapnel through their chest. These are crisis, life-saving, catastrophic measures that are taken to save people's lives. And that's great. And it's a very necessary, it's a part of medicine. We have to have that because there's people getting accidents, things happen. And that we have to have that. The problem is that it's with the other stuff, right? It's the chronic conditions where they failed. I mean, it's just obvious. It's like we are the sickest people that have ever walked the face of the planet, ever, ever, ever here in the United States. And now around the world, it's drifting all over the place. And yet it's like we keep going to this. It just doesn't work. It's like, so the reality, what I realized later is that it's nature, and that nature works. So anyway, I do all that stuff. I come back home, I get the surgery. I'm happy. But I'm still a mess, right? My friend gets cancer on my baseball team. He dies, but it was stomach cancer because he chewed tobacco, right, which I mentioned earlier. Oof. And so we figured it trickled down in there, and that's what got him. Could have been something else. I don't know. And then my other friend at age 43, Charles, and he got diagnosed with cancer. I'm like, crap, man, I'm going to lose another friend. My grandma had died of brain cancer. My aunt had died of melanoma that spread to her lungs and kidneys and all that stuff. And so my experience with cancer is you get it and you die. And so I thought, I'm going to lose another friend. He said, do you want to go? I need you to go with me to support me. And we're going to go to this place called Hippocrates in Florida. I'm like, yeah, dude, whatever you need. So we go there, and on the plane flight there, because he knew I was like the guy that hunts and fish and eats a lot of meat and stuff. And he's like, oh, by the way, when we get there, there's no meat, there's no dairy, there's no salt, there's no sugar, there's no vinegar, and there's nothing cooked over 115 degrees. He's reading out of this little manual. And I was like, what do you mean no meat? Like, and now I'm freaking out. I'm literally freaking out. And then I thought, well, in high school I had salad bar on Fridays, but they did have hamburger on it. And and then finally I'm like, okay, wait a minute. You're here for Charles. He's dying, for God's sakes. Just they've been in business 61 years. You're probably not going to die. I eat apples, so okay. And so I got over that. Day 1, my acid reflux gone. So they basically just started giving us like wheatgrass shots, green juices, and lots of sprouts and living foods and this stuff. And then, you do colon hydrotherapy sessions, which I'll talk about in a minute. We do. And so they do this stuff. Day 1, my acid reflux is gone. Now by day 3, 4, I'm not feeling very good. I mean, I'm tired. I'm irritable. I have a metallic taste coming out of my mouth. These heavy metals.
You're
I found out
detoxing.
I had heavy metal
Detoxing at this
poisoning. I'm
point? Yeah.
sweating at night. I got night sweats. And then they said either Thursday or Friday, you're going to wake up and feel amazing. And I was like, oh God, please be tomorrow. I can't do this a whole nother day. I went to bed like at 8 o'clock at night, and I haven't done that in years since I was a little kid. I just wanted the day to be over. And I woke up and I felt amazing. I mean, I felt amazing. We did our little routine. We did our little workout. We drank our little lemon water. And then we did our workout. We did our wheatgrass shot, green juice. And we're walking back to our hacienda thing. And I was like, Charles, do you feel as good as I do? And he's like, yeah. I said, dude, I literally have energy tingling in my arms. Like, dude, we've discovered the fountain of youth. I'm like, this is what everybody's looking for. Literally, it's like, this is what everybody, dude, you're going to heal. I'm like, I know. I've talked to all these people around here. There's so many people that have already healed of cancer, and they're bringing friends and they're back to just get a reboot. I'm like, you're going to heal. This is awesome. So I said, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm going to give up all, because it was a plant-based place. I said, I'm going to give up all meat except for bacon, and then we're going to do this. And so, and then I read like Dr. T. Colin Campbell's book, that big book on nutrition, the China Study, probably the most comprehensive book ever written on nutrition, where the emperor was dying of cancer. So he employed 600,000 Chinese to go out and scour the entire country of China and find out what causes cancer and health and stuff. And that book came back, and they eat mostly plants and a little bit of meat. It'll sum it up. Okay. And he ended up passing away and stuff because he had cancer or whatever and never figured it out in time. But anyway, so I looked at Charles and said, hey, you're going to make it. I'm going to do this. And we came home. We got busy doing it, and he healed. He's still alive today. We're 15 years later. Within 60 days, all the eczema was gone, except for a big patch on my knee that took 8 months.
Wow.
I lost the 42 pounds in 60 days. I literally just went all in, and here I am, 52 years old, and I'm way healthier. And I've learned so many things that we could be on this podcast for probably 3 days. And it's just all this cool stuff that I've learned. I've been like a human lab experiment, because when I found out that processed foods in the grocery store that I was paying for was what was killing me, it was horrible, that I just stopped putting that stuff in, and I started putting stuff into my body that was packaged by God. That's it, packaged by nature. And when you do that and you simplify your life, it's great. I'm 52. My son's like, hey, do you want to go, what do you do? He goes, want to go surfing? I'm like, yeah, let's go surfing. So I went surfing with him. Yeah. I went surfing. No problem. Don't even think about it. And when they come down here, I'm like, hey guys, we're going to go trail running. Better practice. I go trail running. I smoke them, right? But I run a couple times a week. But it's fun. It's fun to be healthy. It's fun to be vibrant. And it's fun to not poop blood, because it's a very scary thing.
It is. You're right. We don't realize that until you poop blood, and then it's not any fun, right?
Yeah, and we have thousands of people that have reached out to us that are like having the same issues because me just talking about it. And it's like, I thought I was the only one. I was embarrassed about it, but it's a problem. We have so much gastrointestinal issues right now. And so anyways, my mission is just to help people solve these problems, make it simple and understandable, and just help people so they don't have to be where I was.
100%. What's one of the most, you said we could talk about it for 3 days. What's one of the most surprising things that you've learned about health and nutrition and everything that you've studied?
That some of the most powerful healing things are free.
Seriously, we make it so complicated. And like now, I wonder what you think about this protein, takeover of literally everything that just doesn't seem like actual protein. That's, can you talk about that for a second? Because I don't know if I'm sure you've seen the ads and stuff. They're making protein popcorn and protein, you name it, basically.
Well, they're doing that because they want to make money.
Of course.
Because people have been conditioned to protein for years and years and years.
Yeah.
Right? So I'll just tell you a little story. I had a guy who was one of my first coaching client. He's a great dude, David Arce. He owns a Brownsville CrossFit gym, and he's a high-level CrossFit competitor, a CrossFit trainer, coach, and he reached out because he wanted to lose some body fat. He was at like, heaven forbid, 13%, but his lifelong goal was to be under 10%. Well, long story short, we found out that it wasn't his lack of dedication and all this other stuff. It was really emotional stuff underlying because his dad had called him a fat little bastard and stuff like that. And so, but I said, oh, well, if you want to lose weight, I said, well, tell me what you're eating. Well, he was doing the typical American bodybuilders stuff where they weigh out their protein, they weigh out their rice, and they have broccoli.
Everything.
Yeah, the macros and stuff. And so some people might shut off because it's not like I'm bashing it, but it's just like it doesn't work for so many reasons, right? The first fundamental thing is proper food combining. When you mix a protein, be it a chicken breast or a beef or whatever, fish, with a starchy carbohydrate, like being rice or potatoes or something like that, or pasta, noodles, that is improper food combining. That creates fermentation in the gut. And
this is some fit for life. This is some fit for life stuff. Remember that book way back when?
Oh, yeah.
That's what they all...
Were they talking about that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%. That's the whole basis.
It's out there. If you look it up, proper food combining, and these are just guidelines, but it creates 123 chemicals, one of them being sulfur, right? And so you want digestion and assimilation of nutrients. You don't want fermentation and gut rot, because when food goes through you, it's got to get through you. It's either going to digest and assimilate, or it's going to ferment because it's got to get through you. It's at 98.6 in there, right? And so what we did, I said, David, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you if you're going to have your meat, you're going to do it with a big pile of vegetables. If you're going to have your starches, you have it with a big pile of vegetables, but you never mix those two together. So tweak. It's like good to great. There's a book called Good to Great. So we made that little tweak. Yeah. And I said, how many ounces are you doing? I think he was doing 8 ounces of meat or something. I said, we're going to tweak that down to 6. So I did a little baby step. Oh, what about my protein? I said, dude, just follow the program. You hired me. So he did it. Within like 2.5 months, he was at like 6% body fat. And then he was freaking out. Am I going to get too thin? I said, don't worry about it. You'll normal out. Now he's about 7 to 9. He was 7 to 9 when we left. And then a couple months later into the program, he goes, I want to start putting on more muscle. I said, well, you're not going to like it, but okay, here's what you do. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take your meat intake from 6 down to 4 ounces. Oh, no. It's like because the programming, his belief systems have been programmed. I said, what I've learned to build muscle, protein's important, but if you're cooking meat, we know from Max Planck Institute, a physicist, the study over there in Germany, that when you cook meat, 50% of the proteins are coagulated, completely unusable. They are a burden on the body. So if you think you're getting, 40 grams of protein in a day, and you're doing it that way, you're only getting 20. So, but your body has to process all that stuff, that's the coagulated, bastardized proteins, and get them out of you. It's a lot of work. It takes a lot of energy out of you, right? Yeah. So what you want is pre-digested proteins and amino acids and stuff like that. So same thing. So what I found out to build muscle, which works the best, it's not so much the proteins, but it's the high quality fats and even better fatty acids. So I said, what we're going to do is we'll take the protein down a couple ounces to 4 ounces in your case, because that's what he was doing, right? I'm not going to whatever. And I told him at the very end, we'll do a 100% plant-based thing for a month and then have him add meat back in slowly so he could find his balance and where his plant-based meat ratio works for him, because everybody's different. I'm kind of like the vegan carnivore. So I just want people to
what does that mean?
What works. Well, it means that you can do what works for you. It's like if you want to be plant-based 100% and that's what you thrive in, do that. Or maybe you need 10% meat and 90% plants, or maybe you need 50-50. Some people might need to do 100%. It's a long conversation. We could do a whole show on this because it opens up a big topic, and it's a fun topic to talk about. But everybody's different. There is no one-size-fits-all approach in this life, right? And so going back, so he starts doing this, and I said, so we're going to put high-quality fats in. Now, you're already doing these green juices twice a day, which we do, and we have our product. We have one called Green 85 Juice Formula. You can get whatever you want. I think ours is the best, but let it speak for itself. I said, you're already mixing these green powders with water twice a day and drinking them. Now what I'm going to have you do is go to Blue Mountain Organics and get their sprouted walnut butter or sprouted almond butter or sprouted whatever. I think walnut's one of the best. And it's what they did was they took that nut, soaked it in water that released all its natural insecticides or protectants, and it became over 8 times more digestible, and the nutrition went up 100 to 800%. It's amazing. Then they air dried it under 115 degrees, 110 degrees for 2 days, got it dry, and then they gently ground it into a butter. So we take that butter just for ease of convenience. If you want to make your own raw nut milks, knock yourself out. It takes a little bit more time, and those are the best. But for people that are busy, they can just take their blender, high-speed blender, put some water in it, and put in a tablespoon or 2 of this nut butter, and then blend it up. Now you have nut milk with 2 ingredients. No gellan gum, no xanthan gum, or these things that are eating your digestive lining. But just that, and then mix that in with the greens. But don't blend the greens because we've went to painstaking measures to keep the life force intact, because all of our ingredients are sun-dried or air-dried under 110 degrees. So they have life force and consciousness. We are actually rating over 600 out of the lab on the consciousness scale with our products, which is I'm very proud of. So
what does that mean? How do you measure consciousness of your
Well, you can
vegetables?
you can body test that. You can what's it called? But it's on a scale from 0 to 1,000, and like 200 and below is like really low. If you want to look it up, you can go to FLFE, Focus Life Force Energy. They are the consciousness experts. But anyway, so now he's getting this high quality fatty acids from the sprouted nut milk with the greens. Now it's a complete meal replacement. And he was already doing the weight resistance exercise. That's the second part. So high quality fatty acids to build muscle, weight resistance exercise, and really good sleep. So we really help our clients to get their sleep dialed in, right? And we look at everything. We look at the air you're breathing in your room. We look at the temperature in your room, the weights of your blankets. Do you have a smart meter outside of your house on the other side of the bedroom? Is your head within 3 foot of a light socket? Are you being buzzed by ELFs, electronic low frequency? You can test those with a tri-field meter. And it's very astonishing because if you take a tri-field meter and you go, you get within 3 foot of a light socket, it's putting off some electric low frequency. If your head's in that, it might not be helping your sleep. Right? We've had people do that and move and fix that, put harmonizers on, move the bed, and the child starts sleeping through the night type stuff. So these are things that we can't overlook. And David started putting on a pound of muscle every 2 weeks. High quality fatty acids. He dropped his protein content down a little bit. High quality fatty acids, weight resistance exercise, and really good sleep. So I did all that whole story to illustrate the point that it's not about protein. Yes, it's important, but it's not the whole story.
I love that so much because people think I'm crazy when I tell them I mostly eat vegan. I'm not like insanely, hardcore about it, but it serves my body well, especially if I'm working out a lot. And I haven't exactly understood all the science behind it, but I know that my body responds better, and like the proof is in the pudding kind of thing.
Yeah, it's how you feel. Like, so I tell people about our products.
Is.
Like, you got to try them. Like, I'm going to try to sell you on our stuff because I love it. The other thing too is like, the protein thing is what is happening across America right now that's nobody's really talking about. These kidney dialysis clinics are exploding.
Oh my gosh. John Oliver did a piece on that a while back.
Of protein.
It's fascinating.
There's also fertility clinics are exploding too because people are not able to get pregnant.
Wow.
So we're de-evolving as a species. We can't it's kind of funny. Like, guess what's coming up? I don't know when this is airing, but Thanksgiving. And most of the turkeys that you're going to be consuming, they can't have sex. They're artificially inseminated. They've been hybrid to get fat.
They can't have sex? Oh, because they're
they
made
can't
to be so big.
They're so big, they're not natural anymore, so they can't even have sex.
God.
So they're all artificially inseminated. You're eating these little freak shows. I mean, that
makes me so sad. That just makes me sad in like 10 different ways.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine you being a young, healthy, vibrant person, you're 100 years or less, and you want to have sex, and you can't do it and we're kind of doing that too. We get so big, we're like the chickens and the turkeys that we're eating, that they just keep hybriding them. And then these chickens, some of them, they have them growing so fast with these hormones that when they do x-rays, they can't even see the bones because the bones are so thin. They're like translucent.
Holy
right? But they have
shit.
these great huge breasts, and then they rip them off and sell them. And that's a good chicken breast. I got a good
Mhm.
deal. It's $2.99 a pound or whatever.
See, it's stuff like that, Tim, I think that we aren't willing as a society to really, like, look at. And to me, I mean, as soon as I'm aware of what's going on in the meat industry, that was when I turned I was like, "Nope. This is like, yeah,
Did you
sure, you
watch
could
Food
do."
Inc.? Is that what you did? Did that get you?
I read Eating Animals by Jonathan Safran Foer, and,
Oh, okay.
it's not for the faint of heart, and it just will change everything because it's about the industrial complex of the meat industry, and it's just really fucked up, like what you just said about turkeys, and, like, when we if we would open our eyes and really pay attention to it, everyone would change, but we're not. We're busy, tired, lazy, I don't know, we're just, like, not willing to do it and go that extra mile to see it. Because you can't unsee it once you do,
Well, I think you hit the
right?
nail on the head is that people are tired. And when you're tired and in
Yeah.
pain, it's hard to do anything. And then you throw fear on top of it. Like if you're watching the news, they are basically designed. The news is designed to hijack your prefrontal cortex with fear and then lead you around. It's like putting an invisible leash around your neck. Because when people are using fear towards you, now I teach all my clients, like if you feel fear or people using fear towards you, you like stop, and you need to create some space and examine what's going on, what's their true motives behind it. Like
Mhm.
I bring up stuff like 4,300 people a day dying of processed foods, but here's the solution: stop buying processed foods. Now you're out of it. There's no sense of getting upset about it or pissed off about it, or because all those emotions, those negative low vibe emotions, are going to create cortisol to spike and adrenaline to spike, and you're going to destroy yourself from the inside out. Just go, oh, they chose to do that, but I choose to do this. And then by you voting with your dollars, now you start driving money and helping businesses like ours that actually has products that, I mean, we actually came out with a mouth rinse and a toothpaste. I mean, the mouth rinse, I wanted to put on there, beneficial if swallowed, please, will boost your immune system, versus harmful if swallowed, please contact the Poison Control Center. I
Right.
mean, imagine that. It says that's on the label of stuff that in our society, and it's acceptable. Harmful if swallowed, please contact the Poison Control Center. And people are going in all day long to the grocery stores and these places and buying this stuff and teaching their kids to swish it around in their mouth. Like if you're not
Yeah.
supposed to swallow it, why would you put it in your mouth? Are you like a sword swallower? Are you have a show going on here trying to show people how crazy cool you are to ride the edge of life and death?
Mhm.
It's like when somebody told me that, I was like, oh, and then I also heard like sodium, if your shampoo's got sodium lauryl sulfate in it, it's a known carcinogen. They use it as like a suffocant to create suds and stuff because people like foamy suds. That causes cancer. So I went home, I looked at my toothpaste, and guess what? Harmful if swallowed, please contact the Poison Control Center. I was like, damn it. So then I went over to my shampoo and I looked at it. First ingredient, sodium lauryl sulfate. I'm like, I've been putting cancer in my head my whole life. I've been poisoning my mouth my whole life. And my mom and dad showed me how to do this stuff. And they're not bad people. They're not bad people, Amy, at all. They're great people. But it's the matrix. I mean, just so wake up. Like you can get out of it. Instead of buying this, you give your money over here. It's
Yeah.
really simple.
I like the, like, deeper meaning of your slogan on your shirt, "Ingredients matter," because it seems surface, at first, like, but it is about the ingredients that we're made up of, right? And that goes for spiritual ingredients, the fear, all these other things, like, it's got a lot of levels to it, I just like that. It's true.
Yeah, totally true.
It's totally true. Alright, so, what do you see as some of the I mean, we might have kinda covered this, but as the most common modern toxins, both literal and energetic that are often overlooked?
Well, I would say the biggest modern toxin is fear.
Oof, good one. Yeah.
It's fear. It's fear for sure. And yeah, for sure.
Do you feel
And
like the healthier you've got, the less fear you have? Like, do those go hand in hand for
oh,
you?
of course, because you get your self-confidence back. It's like think
Mm.
about where I was, you
Yeah,
know,
right, right?
pooping
Wondering
blood,
when
big
the
belly,
when the
my
when the
skin looks
shoe's
like
gonna
a
drop. Mm.
salamander.
Yeah,
I wasn't taking my world was shrinking because I
yeah.
was like I didn't want to take my shirt off in public, not because I was overweight, because pretty much everybody else is nowadays, but because of the way my skin looked. It was very embarrassing. And yeah. And so some you asked the question of like, what are some of the things that
The most common ones
toxins
that are
that are out there?
overlooked, yeah, and fear,
Yeah.
yeah.
So fear is a big one.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say people in your life that are very close to you that are toxic.
Ugh.
Right. So that's another
Yeah.
one. That's another one. There's actually Dr. Artist told me that a friend of mine, he said that there's a doctor who's an oncologist and he helps people with cancer and he has like 100% success rate. And during his intake forms, he goes through and they have to identify that one person in their life that is creating, that is toxic, like that is sucking the life out of them literally. And for him to take them on as a client, they literally have to promise to excommunicate them out of their life completely and never talk to them again. Period. And it doesn't matter who it is. It could be a spouse. It could be a child. It could be a parent. It could be somebody that your sister, brother. It could be uncle. It could be somebody really close. And if they're willing to do that, he takes them on. And all these people are healing.
Wow.
Right? We just had a client come on, a friend come on, new friends. I met them at Hot Lake Lodge where they have a mineral soaking thing about 20 minutes. We're pretty lucky from my house. It's like an old school, world renowned healing mineral water.
Cool.
It's really awesome. I met these couple there, started talking to him. The next day he was going in for his second cancer surgery. He found out when he first had cancer, they pulled out an 11-pound tumor out of him.
Holy cow.
And the doctors figured it had been there for 12, 15 years. He'd been married for 17. And so we kind of, because I was saying, wow, and he's like, and he told me how toxic his wife was. And at the end, it was just a big money grab. She got like a 7-figure money grab out of the deal. And so, it's like, it's kind of a big thing, right? So, and people are like, oh, well, I don't think that's possible. Well, I've been doing this a long time, guys. I mean, I've coached 750 people through the transformation process. Over 300 of them have had cancer. Got a lot of practical experience in the trenches working with people with cancer. And I'm telling you that the emotional side of things, that is something you can't overlook this stuff. And we have emotions, toxic emotions, literally trapped in our physical cells. And there's proof of this. You don't have to take my word for it. It's like if you slam your hand in a car door jam and you cry and you measure the chemical constituents of those tears versus your mom dies or you lose your dog or somebody runs over your violin it was given to you by your grandma. Those tears have different chemistry in them.
Wow.
Like there's emotional tears. There's literally different tears, right? And so those emotions are being trapped. In fact, this goes back to what they taught at Hippocrates, because on Wednesdays, they don't eat any food at all. It's all juices. And I'm like elbowing Charles going, dude, what'd you get me into? Like this place, they don't eat breakfast. They do green juice. And now we don't even eat it all. This place is crazy. And the doctor said, we treat you all like little fragile eggs when you get here. And what we do is we throw you up into the air as high as we can, and we let you come down and hit the concrete and crack. And that's where the healing begins. He goes, you think the healing is coming from the foods. No. We're just getting the dope out of the way, which is all this fried food, processed food, sugars, all the crap that's in the modern foods today, giving you high energy food to allow the energy to all this toxic emotional crap that you've been carrying around in baggage that's most likely not yours, allow it to start coming up. It's always trying to come up, but we take food as a dope and we shove it back down. So now you're eating these high vibe foods, these emotions are starting to come up. And what'll happen is he said, we'll have guys that are like cowboys from Calgary, Canada, and they literally live by, out in the range and next to a barbed wire fence with a cup of coffee and a chunk of steak. They get cancer too. And some of them, when Western medicine has failed them and there's nothing more we can do, they end up here at Hippocrates. And he goes, somewhere around days 3, 4, 5, they're going through the process of eating these foods and they're getting a massage. And all of a sudden they start crying uncontrollably for an hour to 2 hours. This is what we're looking for. That is the healing that needs to be done. And so, yeah, it's emotional. I've actually been through that. I had that wave stuff come over me 2 different times in my life. One was for a child custody battle, and another one was after my little brother died. And so I was able to release that. And I got to tell you, after the first one, I remember feeling like I was walking around on a magic carpet, like I was literally flying. I felt like all this weight was off me, and I had no idea I was carrying around. It was emotional baggage that had manifested in my cells, and I was actually able to cry it out. So the things that are toxic that are getting people is, fear, other toxic people, and stored toxic emotions that are inside of you. The other stuff is easy, right?
Mhm.
Pesticides, fungicides, herbicides, larvicides, chemical fertilizers, over 100,000 chemicals out there, heavy metals, mold, yeast, fungus. We have solutions for all these things, right? We have solutions for this stuff, but these are the other things, the underlying things that people are not thinking of.
You're so right. That's so powerful. I love that you just turned that around because it can feel kind of overwhelming and complicated with all the toxins and, ingredients and our foods and all these kind of things, and to start to really make progress on that. But you got to get it's all inside. It's such an inside job so much of the
Mm-hmm.
time. So thank you for pointing that out. You're so right. And isn't that so interesting? Because I guess I didn't quite expect you to say all that, even though it's 100% true. I mean, and I've read, Body Keeps the Score and these books that have real scientific evidence of how our body is holding on to things and our cells, and it's for real. So thank you. Yeah. Um, so like with all those things in mind, if someone were to say to you, how do you define true health? What would you say?
You wake up and you feel good inside your body.
Pretty simple. You wake up and
You have
feel good.
energy to do your
Yeah.
activities of daily living. You sleep well.
Sleep, man.
Your
That's the
s- your s- your
key to life.
skin glows, and your eyes are
Oh,
clear, and you have
yeah.
good bowel movements,
Yeah.
and
What do you
you don't get injured just mowing the lawn
right. What do
or
you
picking
think
up a grandchild.
about all of the, biohacking and longevity practices? I know there's a lot of value in all those and everything, but it can get pretty in the weeds. Um, and there's a lot of like probably EMFs and stuff like that involved. But what do you think about what's going on lately with all the longevity
Well, that
biohacking?
whole industry is exploding because the other industry has failed.
Mm-hmm.
People just have to keep their. And I had a guy. I did a class. There's a school district here in another town, 20 minutes from me, and they had me come over a couple years ago and speak to all the teachers. And I ran into one of them like a couple months ago, and he's like, "Oh, Tim, hey, how you doing?" And it's like, I just want to let you know, like, my wife and I, and we have a child now, and our whole house is like toxin free now, and we're buying fresh food and doing all this stuff, and just really appreciate it. And he said, "There's a lot of stuff out there in these biohacking things, exactly what you said." And he goes, "Are you teaching classes anymore?" And I said, "Well, I've been teaching every Wednesday for 6 years online in my inner circle. But I said, I'm actually going to start teaching classes live here locally." He's like, "Oh, great." Because there's stuff out there that people are selling that," he goes, "I don't think that it's good for people." And I was like, "Are you talking about molecular hydrogen by chance?" And he's like, "Yeah, how did you know?" And I'm like, "I don't know, just got a download on it." I said, "It's actually one of my things that I want to do. I want to do a deep down dive on molecular hydrogen because there is a lot of stuff that people don't really know. Number one, is molecular hydrogen good for you? Absolutely. This question then is like, what are the ingredients? How's it made? Right? And so these are very important things. Is it in it's things that people have no clue, and some big names have been promoting stuff that I know for sure is garbage, and it's like, but it's maybe they're not bad people, maybe they just don't know, but they're on the molecular hydrogen bandwagon right now, and there's a lot of money being made. So everybody's same thing with red lights
Yeah.
and other stuff like that. So, when in doubt, do I have molecular hydrogen machines? Yeah, I've got 3 of them. I do testing. I have 4 of them actually, because I'm doing testing on them right now again. And I've had them around for a couple of them for years. I have a red light here. Yeah, I do this stuff. I have a Himalayan salt lamp. I have my grandma's a little piggy bank here that's shaped like a turtle. I got all the stuff. Right. I've been a living experiment for 15 years, trying out all this stuff to find out what works for me and what doesn't. And then I just share all the stuff that works for me. But there's
Same
also
here,
stuff
actually.
that works
Me
that
too.
doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
There's a company called ASEA. They make this stuff and kind of tastes like pool water, but it's the 4th phase of water. And it's Dr. Clement said they should win a Nobel Prize. And I've tried it multiple times. I don't notice a difference. But I have a friend who had a traumatic brain injury and he's in severe pain. And it basically, he said I was going to kill myself. I was in so much pain because when I take this product, I have no pain, or it's significantly diminished enough that he wants to live now. So
Wow.
that's a great product for him, right?
Right.
I wear size 10 and a half boots, but a size 14 is not going to work for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get blisters sliding around in there, or if I'm trying to
Absolutely.
wear a 9. So again, it's not this one size fits all approach. But what we try to do is I try to give people the baby steps. We want to incubate them, and the first thing my goal is as people is I want to get them energy. I want to give them energy. That's what I do, and we do that. We do it with our greens, our green formula, and which also gets them to drink more water, which will give them energy. And we just start there. And once they get more energy, then they have more energy to do more things. And then once I get them more energy, then they believe me. They know that I'm not bullshitting anymore. Like, okay, because I honestly, it's like I cannot even understand how some people buy some of these products online and they're so terrible. They're so bad, but their marketing is so good, right?
Like
It's
what?
the marketing. The
It's just
marketing
us
is
here.
so
Like
good
what?
that they can sell all kinds of stuff.
Name some names. Like what?
Well, I mean, let's talk about supplements.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I mean,
Absolutely.
85% of the supplements on the market are sold by pharmaceutical companies. Most people aren't aware of this.
I am not aware of that. I didn't know that.
92% of them are pure synthetics. They're chemicals made in a lab. That's not nature.
No. No.
Like, how's that going to work? You don't have a chemical deficiency just because they call it vitamin E, right? It's a synthetic. Don't even get me started on children's cereal. Like, it's like they take like wheat as an example that's sprayed with glyphosate that destroys your gastrointestinal tract and rips open your tight junctions and allows all this undigested food particles and microbes to get into your bloodstream and wreak havoc on your health. They're doing this to children. And then it's grown in nutrient deficient soils anyway. And then they enriched with vitamins, they should say poisoned with chemicals, right? Because that's what they're doing. They're putting more poisons and then your immune system attacks it. It's insane to me. Like the children's cereals it's horrible. If you want to give your children a cereal, just have them have a grain like Ethiopian teff or amaranth or spelt or kamut. Go back to some of the grains that aren't commercially processed and commoditized.
How do you not get depressed sometimes when you know all that? I mean,
Well, I
it's
was.
a
I
little
was like the
depressing.
food. I was the food Nazi for 5.5 years, and then but then my spiritual practice kind of started kicking in, and I realized like everybody's gonna. Here's the beautiful part about our experience, and there that we have this thing called choice. Okay, that's the beautiful part.
Yeah.
So the world is 50% dark, 50% light, and you couldn't see those beautiful shining stars without the darkness.
Right.
You actually need both. And that includes everything. That includes everything. The drunken drivers, that would be the dark. The light would be mad. Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, right? There's the light, right? You can't have without it. And so that's really cool. Now, the cool thing is it's 50-50. But because choice goes right down the middle and you can choose dark or light, bad or good, whatever you want to call it, the universe is, and since choice is positive and light is positive, we're like 51% positive and 50% negative. And I know that's 101%, but I mean, maybe some mathematician can figure it out. But the universe is kind of gently gliding or drifting in a positive direction. This is why it's so important to just go with the flow. Lighten up on yourself. The first step for enlightenment is just lightening up, dropping the baggage, right?
It truly
dropping
is.
everybody else's baggage. So that choice is the critical factor in our lives, and those choices are going to dictate our outcomes.
Yeah, that's really well said. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I think that is important to point out because people can get kind of bogged down in it and, feel like we're not making any progress, and it can feel depressing when you look out at the world. So it's very important to remember those things as you progress. So thank you.
It's all fun. It's like whatever struggles you're having today. I mean, I had a bunch of them, and it was all awareness. I had awareness, and then guess what? I took that awareness and then I made different choices. I changed my lifestyle. Instead of drinking coffee in the morning, I drank a green juice. Instead of drinking coffee in the afternoon or beer, I drank a green juice and water. It was just little differences, massive changes in my life and my health and my vibratory frequency, which opened up my spiritual path of just So it's been a fun ride. It's a fun ride. And I just like helping other people to wake up to their true potential. It's really fun.
It is. That's so awesome. And pointing out that vibratory frequency thing, that's right. You are like, you let go of the alcohol, you let go of these processed foods, you are going to operate at a higher vibrational frequency. At least, I mean, I've seen it time and again with people. I know that that's a real thing. I do it. I feel kind of high all the time.
You should.
I
You should.
do. Yeah, it's pretty wild,
I
and
like
you're
people
just like,
ask me, how are you feeling? I got a line from one of my mentors. He said, life is an ecstatic explosion of joy and synchronicity. How are you? It's like,
That's
people are like, whoa.
amazing.
That's what it should
Absolutely.
be. It's like a cosmic orgasm.
Yeah. God
That's what
dang, it's
every
so
every
awesome.
moment, the potential for every moment. That's it. So the formula that I got, and I mentioned Bashar earlier, is the formula that I took away that I used starting in 2018 that transformed my life completely. I don't like complicated. Okay, I
Me
grew up on
either. Me
a
either.
redneck Eastern Oregon. I like it simple, and most people in America read it at 5th grade level. So let's just keep it simple. We don't need a bunch, Otherwise, you start talking all these fancy words, and it's like wah 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 wah. It's like the
Yeah,
teacher on
it's too
peanuts. Nobody,
much.
what's going on?
My eyes glaze over.
So I heard this formula, and the formula is this. It's a 3-part formula, and it's like a recipe. It's like making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If you put on peanut butter and bread and put it together, you do not have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You have what? You have a peanut butter sandwich. If you put peanut butter or jelly on it without the peanut butter, you got a jelly sandwich. If you put just peanut butter and jelly together, you got peanut butter and jelly, but you don't have a sandwich because you don't have the bread. This formula only works when you use all 3 parts. The first
Okay.
part 1, is to follow your excitement and your joy. That's it right there. That's part 1. So who wouldn't want to do that?
Right. Sounds great.
Okay. Part 1, follow your excitement. Part 2, to the best of your ability with all your skills and talents, and take it as far as you can take it until you can take it no farther. Part 3, with zero insistence to an outcome. You cannot be attached to outcomes. Outcomes is where all the stress comes from. So you follow your excitement, your joy to the best of your ability with zero insistence on an outcome. And most people miss that last part. They get so, well, I want to have this. I want to have that. I want to have that.
Have to make
What
money
I
at
found
it.
out is this is the like the structure of how existence works. And if you want the owner's manual of how to explode your life, I would guarantee you that probably 80% of your problems will all be solved if you start following that formula. 80. With
Love
just
it.
with that formula. And I've started sharing it with my clients after I had so many amazing results with it. And then my clients were just like, dude, all this stuff you're teaching me is awesome, but that last lesson, it is unreal what's going on in my life now. And it's so simple. It's just like, so I love passing that on down the line. Follow your excitement, your joy, what you're passionate about to the best of your ability, and don't be attached to outcomes, right? Let me give you a fun example. So this is a spiritual show, right?
Yeah.
So I get done
Sort of
doing
everything.
hot yoga, and I'm feeling great, and I want to go over and get myself a raw coconut water at this place called New Seasons Market. I go
Okay.
over, I get the raw coconut water. It's $5.99 plus a 10-cent deposit. I owe them $6.09. I'm in line. I'm all high vibing. I'm kind of new to the formula, but I'm using it. I'm talking to this cashier. We're having a great interaction. And then she's like, and I was like, I had $100 bills and a 5 and a 6. So what does that mean? That means I was going to have to break one of those hundreds and get a big pile of change. I try to not get change in my car. I don't want it. It's like always piling up. I was like, dang it. And then I was like, oh my God, give a penny, take a penny. I've always put money in there. And I said, I'll show you how the formula works. Watch this. And then I reached into the thing and I grabbed it and I needed 9 cents. That's what I needed. And I had a little voice in my head go, you're not going to grab 9 pennies. You're going to grab something else. And I'm like, screw you. And I just squashed it because I was vibing so good. And I grabbed those pennies. I turned my hand over to the cashier and I said, count those pennies. I didn't even look at them. She goes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. She's like, how did you do that? I said, I did that because I'm following my excitement to the best of my ability, and I was not attached to the outcome. I didn't really care. I said, actually, I had a little, voice saying you're not going to do it. I'm like, oh, I don't care. And it just showed up. She's like, do you have a card And I was like, I can't remember if I had a card or not. And then the lady next to me in line, I didn't even know she was there. Because my conversation was very engaged with the cashier. She's like, I want your card too. It becomes infectious. Okay. As you start following this formula, it's going to breed more and more and more excitement. It's just going to start attracting things to you. All the things that are trying to get to you will find their way to you easier, much easier. You'll raise your vibratorial frequency extremely, and you're going to become a different person moment by moment by moment by moment. And there's a lot of good to that. You're going to attract a bunch of people to your life, but you're also going to have some people that might be close to you that they're not going to want to grow at that level anymore.
Yeah.
And so there might be a parting of ways. Or you might hand out a permission slip to them by your actions, and they might vibe up with you too.
Yeah.
You don't know. That's not your decision. Your decision is to be the gift. Hand out those permission slips by raising your frequency and following your joy and your passion. We see it all the time. Somebody plays classical music on a piano out in the middle of nowhere, and people are like, "Oh my God, that's so cool!" Right? Somebody's singing at karaoke, and they might not even be that good, but they're in it and they're passionate about it, and you're vibing with them. It's all about the vibe. It
Isn't
really
that
is.
the
And so we
truth?
need everybody vibing. We need you to follow your excitement and your joys and your passions. So this synchronistic orchestra of life can just play out in a much harmonious way.
Man, mic drop. Okay, Tim. Yes. Yes to all that. Hell yes. Like we really do. We need everyone in their unique gifts and just relaxing into that without the expectations too. Those expectations are tricky. That's a tricky part. But man, is it a beautiful thing. So thank you for that whole share. I could totally agree. It's beautifully put.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I want to dip back into a little bit about toxicity really quickly before we go. And you mentioned that you're going to go on an 11-day, I'm not sure why it's 11 days, dry fast, which means no food or water. And I mean, I've done some fasting and I've covered some on this show and fasting mimicking, but I want to know something, about this. I want to know your science behind this, why you do it, why do you, and again, everything's not one size fits all. So tell me why you do this. Do you recommend this for everyone or like, how does that fall?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are scared of this topic. First off, like not eating, just doing water fasting scares a lot of people.
Yeah.
And how do I know? Because I used to be one of those people. When I was at Hippocrates, the greenhouse manager, Michael Bergonzi, was there. And he was like, I'm on day 10 of a water fast. And I was like, and I looked at Charles, I'm like, everybody here is crazy, dude. Like, no food for 10 days? And he was like vibrant, and he's like, yeah, come on. He goes, I'm kind of chilling. But he's like, you want to arm wrestle? Let's bring it on, So he was kind of egotistical there a little bit, but I think he was trying to illustrate the point that he felt great, right? So what I would say about fasting is that it's a big topic, and I'll try to summarize it very quickly. The bottom line is that you have two primary fuel sources. One is burning glucose from the foods you eat. Everything is broken down into glucose, a sugar that's burned in the cells, okay? The second one is when you start burning your own fat, when you get into ketosis, okay? It's like and this is the most efficient version of fuel for the human body. So what do? We go out there and we eat food, and we get a little excess food. We put on a little excess fat because our ancestors didn't always have food. So bears are doing this right now. They're out eating and foraging and scavenging, eating everything. They're trying to, and deer and elk, they're all trying to put a lot of fat on for the winter because there's not going to be as much food. So they're going to be in ketosis much of the time, using their own fuel stores, right? Mm-hmm. Well, what's cool about it is that when you go into ketosis, you're going into these deep levels of healing too. You probably had people on talk about autophagy, right? So your body starts cleaning up like dead cells, or what are called senescent cells that are kind of, mutated a little bit, and they're replicating in bad ways in your body. And it's creating aging and pain and, just not, you get age spots, and you get old faster and that kind of stuff. Yeah. And because you're getting older cellularly, okay? Now, when you do things like water fasting, you're going to get into autophagy, or intermittent fasting, where you don't eat until your little window, right? If you make it a certain period of time, usually around 16, 18, 20 hours, people kick into ketosis, and that autophagy cleanup starts happening. That's great. The thing is that with dry fasting is one of my favorite things. I heard a long time ago, dry fasting is 3 times as good as water fasting. And that was kind of the thing. Oh, I'll try it. I don't know if that's true or not, what the percentage is, but I do know that it is a multiple. I don't know what it is though, scientifically, because it's just God's program. And then I did like another 1 or 2 day. Well, about 4 months ago, I think I did I made it 5 days and 5 hours. And I can't even tell you what happened. It was just like so awesome. So
What?
here's the difference.
Tell me. What did happen?
Yeah. So what ended up happening is it's really easy because you don't eat or drink. And the first realization is, oh my God, I spend so much time with food and drinking. It's like you have all this free time freed up. You don't have to clean dishes. There's nothing to do. It's just like, do your thing.
True.
It's awesome. Right. But why are we doing this? We're doing this because we live in a polluted world. There's a lot of chaos out there. And maybe we've done some things to our bodies. Maybe we've had processed foods, or we've gained some weight, or we've got some skin issues, whatever, right? Maybe you just want more longevity. You want to heal up from accidents, like an injuries. Right now, I've actually my elbow. Can't see this one, but this elbow. I play guitar a lot, and I've over the last 6 years, I think I tightened that up, and I was putting some flooring in, and the ligament snapped. It was like pop. Like a couple weeks ago. This is the first tear I've had in my entire life, and injuries. I've been pretty much injury-free in sports. And so it's going to help speed up the healing. So this is what happens, okay? When you start fasting, you're doing these long-term fasts, and I'm not recommending you do this out of the gate, right? So I think you should nutrify yourself. You should do detoxing ahead of time. You should be full of electrolytes. Everything that we do over here is to get people prepared so they can do what I'm about to talk about. And that's the dry fast. Me personally, there's no point for me to ever do a water fast again unless somebody can show me different. And the main reason why is because with dry fasting, I seem like less cravings. But the second thing is that the muscle doesn't get wasted. When you're on a water fast, your body's eating your muscle, so your muscle atrophies. But when you're dry fasting, there's a hormone secreted that blocks that. So your muscles will look like they shrink because they're full of what? Water, and your body's going to be using that water. But then when you rehydrate, they come right back. You don't have the muscle loss that you do with water fasting. That's number one. Number two, on day 3, there's this thing called it's called the GKI index. Have you heard of that?
Okay. No.
That's the glucose ketone index. Okay. I could if I could share screen, can I share screen?
I don't know. I've never had anyone asked.
Let me see if I can share screen. Let me try it. Screen.
Yeah, try it.
Screen and reverse chemical for your body. How come it's not showing? Oh, here it is. Okay, boom. Okay. So this is do you see it?
Yeah.
Awesome. And is that big enough for people, or should I?
I think so. I'm sure my editor can just pull that out and show it.
Let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay. So what this is this is your glucose reading, right? And it's a little bit different whether this is the American version because we're in, this old standard math. This isn't, counting by tens, which is what we should be doing. Mm-hmm. So let's look at this. If you're testing yourself and you're greater than a 9, you're not in ketosis. Okay, there's no benefits. You're living on glucose. Now, when you hit the 6 to 9 level, you're in a low level of ketosis. Ideal for weight loss and health maintenance. Great. When you hit 3 to 6, you're in a moderate level of ketosis. For those with type 2 diabetes and obesity, insulin resistance, metabolic or endocrine disorders. These are major problems. This helps it. Just a 3 to 6, that's cool. You get to a 1 to 3 level, you're in a high therapeutic level of ketosis. For those using keto therapeutically for treatment of disease such as cancer, epilepsy, Alzheimer's disease, exploding by the way, and Parkinson's, traumatic brain injuries, chronic inflammatory disease, which is pretty much everybody. High level. And then if you're under a 1 on this GKI index, you're in the highest therapeutic levels of ketosis. Very difficult to achieve without a doctor's supervision. It's like, okay, well, go try to find a doctor that can help get you in this, would be the first thing. Now, if you go here, I think if I go here to YouTube, I'll show you something. There's a doctor. Oh, and this is it's gonna pull up Kira's thing. Let's go here and let's go. There's a raw vegan foods that she ate. Okay, so let's go to 5-day dry fast, and I'll find it. And there it is. Oh, and look right there. So let me go here. Boom. Okay.
Here.
So this doctor on day 1, no food, no water, she was a 17.9. So not much really happening there, right? Nothing, because she's eating glucose. Now by day 2, she's a 5.6. She's in that lower level of ketosis. But look what happens on day 3, 0.8.
Yeah. Wow.
She's in the highest therapeutic levels ever for healing, way above the 1 to 3 level, what people are using for cancer and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Like, we're talking massive, and I'm going to get into the details, starting on day 3, day 4, day 5. So she did a day 5 just like I did.
Wow.
Okay. And so that progresses. So we're talking about unlocking God's healing potential like nobody's business. And guess what? It doesn't cost anything. In fact, it's free. In fact, your grocery bill is going to drop because you won't be eating during that time. So here's what else happens. You are going to clean up all these dead senescent cells. Your body is going into survival mode, okay? And it's going to start cleaning up all these rogue cells, damaged cells, so they stop replicating bad stuff and making you look old and feel old. The next thing that's going to happen is on about day 3, you start making your own water. Did you know that?
No.
Because people are like, oh, how can you live? You're going to die within 3 days of no water. No, it's called endogenous water, water from within. So as the fat is cleaved down into glycerol and carbon and hydrogen, the hydrogen in the cell mitochondria is mixed with oxygen that you breathe, and the cell mitochondria makes water inside of your cells. This is huge because most people have a hard time getting hydrated to get the water into the cells because they have a poor membrane, fat membrane or lipid membrane, and many other reasons. But so you're hydrating from within the cell, pushing the toxins out from within into the extracellular matrix to be whisked away eventually when you rehydrate through your lymphatic system. Very cool. And you'll see the first time you do this, you'll see when you rehydrate, you'll see a bunch of orange, rusty stuff come out your bum. As you start to all this stuff will start coming out.
Fun.
And it's pretty cool. So that is awesome. So we're talking about deep healing. The stem cells, your stem cells in your body also have senescent cells. They have damaged stem cells. Those stem cells will be eaten up like garbage because the body's like, we have to only keep the healthy cells to keep her or him alive. And we're going to eat any cell that's not perfect. It's food and it's water, and they eat it up. So you're doing all that cleanup, anti-aging, like nobody's business. Like it's $25,000 therapy. Okay. That all happens after that 3rd day level. Now, when you hit day 5, this is where the Russian doctors say and there's clinical research on tons of people over in Russia on this dry fasting stuff. On day 5, all of the parasites and the bad bacterium and stuff like that are dead. They're gone. Why? Because they have to have your food and your water to drink. They don't have access to your endogenous water that's inside of your cells. So they're just dead. You killed them. Now, we have a parasite-free product that we sell, and a lot of people are doing ivermectins and stuff trying to get rid of parasites. Or you could just knock them out in 5 days yourself for free, right? Dead. So you destroy parasites. And then probably one of the coolest things that happens is that by day 5, you've flooded your body with 3 cycles of stem cells. So if you get into a traumatic car accident and you break a bunch of bones and stuff, your bones and your body will have this massive healing response. It will just dump your stores of stem cells into your body to keep you alive and heal everything up very quickly. All of your ripped tendons and blood vessels and all the things that need fixed, it's just like it'll start healing up. The body, because it's in this survival mode, will flood your body with your own stem cells, not stem cells from an aborted fetus, not stem cells from an umbilical cord that was flown to you, your own stem cells. And it's a massive flooding. You'll have stem cells all over and inside of your body, inside of your gut lining, everywhere, your brain. you will be like, it's like $1 million stem cell treatment. You'll have 3 cycles of them. By day 7, you have 5 cycles of your own stem cells. This type of therapy is profound, and it should only be done maybe once a year, unless you're like maybe twice a year, maybe more if you're obese, because being obese is very dangerous. And the reason I say that is because if you were to get into an accident and you just flooded your cells out, your stem cells out, you might not have the capacity to heal enough to save your life. That's why they don't recommend doing it all the time. It's just once a year. But what's cool is, like, on a cellular level, you're about 10 years younger after about a 5 to 7 day dry fast.
Wow.
All the parasites are gone. You've made your own water. You'll be peeing out a quart of water every day. It's crazy.
That's wild. That's
and
wild.
you're like, you're not drinking because you're making. That's what camels do. Camels have that fat hump. They go out in the desert. They break down the fat in the mitochondria. The hydrogen mixes with the oxygen. They make their own water, endogenous water. So that's what we're doing. The same thing camels do. So we have our own water, and it's the most amazing water on the planet. So you make your own water. You don't, on a dry fast, you don't destroy your muscle mass. It comes back very quickly when you rehydrate. You can kill all parasites and everything after the bad buggers after 5 days. You flood your body with $1 million stem cell treatment, and you do the most deepest levels of healing autophagy you could possibly imagine. That's why I dry fast, and that's why everything we do over here is designed to get people to the point where hopefully they can build up the courage and the confidence and the resilience and the excitement to do that. Now, we don't recommend that right out of the gate. We recommend you just start drinking water and having a green juice twice a day. And let's get that in place, and maybe 6 months, a year down the road, maybe 3 years down the road, maybe you're ready for a dry fast. And maybe you just try to do it for 1 day.
Why are you going to do it for 11 days?
Just more benefits. The longer you can make it, the better. There's a guy online, I think it's called Fasting with Trevor Summit. He's made it like 20 days a few times. He's trying to make it to 21.
That sounds dangerous. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm skeptical of that. I've heard so many stories of people like hurting themselves. I'm just skeptical.
And that is possible. That's what I'm saying. You got to be smart about this. You want to use it as a tool. But Trevor's healed himself of all of his issues that he's had, and he's had to go through layer after layer of healing, to do that. And he said usually around day 13, he has 11 to 13, he has some major emotional release. He'll just sit there and cry and cry and cry and cry. And he doesn't do it while he's working. So if you're going to do something like this is like, you want to treat it like you're doing surgery without a knife. You're in surgery. I'm not working out today. I mean, I could, because it's day 1. I'm still burning glucose. I'm done. I'm going to chill out. I'm in surgery for the next 11 days or however. If I make it 6 days, 5 days, I'm going to be throwing a party. I'm excited. But my goal's 11, but I'm not attached to an outcome.
Good.
Right? So I'm not going to be suffering. I'm going to throw a celebration whether I make it. If I go have a hamburger right now, I'm still going to celebrate, right? It doesn't matter. But the I forgot what I was going to say, but the power of this is so profound, and what I love about it, it's built in for free. That's what it's like. Grounding and earthing, that's free. Getting sunshine, vitamin D, the clean air at the beach and the mountains from all the negative ions cleaning the air, hanging around people that love you and support you. These are all things that are free, that give you life.
Absolutely.
Vitality. Yeah.
Well, thank you for laying all that out. That's very interesting. And I would encourage anyone to really do research and prepare before they do anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
So let's reel it back a little bit too. And just, if somebody's just starting, like, I have a feeling I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask, what's one food or ritual that you absolutely swear by?
One food or ritual is green juice twice a day.
Oh, green juice. I thought it was going to be sleep. I really did. So
we are in control of our sleep. That's a big one. But I try to boil it down to, it used to be like, just like get people to drink more water because they're just not drinking. But the water's so darn polluted. Then we have to get into the purification aspects. And I'm just like, just get 2 green juices in you twice a day. Why? Because within 20 minutes, you're going to have amazing energy for 4 to 6 hours. And then in the afternoon, no crash too, like coffee. And then in the afternoon, do it again. About a half an hour to an hour before dinner. And the cool thing about the greens is that if people invest in those greens, their grocery bill is going to drop in half. Okay, I don't know about the other companies, but I do know with ours, I have 10 years. We just had our 10th year anniversary. Your grocery bill will drop in half. So the greens literally pay for themselves because your grocery bill drops with the cost of the greens. It equals out, but you have more energy, more mental clarity. Your skin starts looking better. You sleep better. Your bowel movements improve, better digestion. You can build muscle. lose weight. And it doesn't really cost anything. Why wouldn't anybody do it? Like, just let's make that the one thing. Just drink a green juice in the morning on an empty stomach and do it again in the afternoon before you go to bed, and just do that. And then from there, you'll have all this energy to start doing the other stuff. And maybe you can get a grounding sheet, and then you can add that in, and then you can
But
maybe stop
can
eating
you
wheat products.
can you make your own green juice, or do you have? Because you
Sure.
said you can't blend it, right? Did you say you
Well,
can't
if you're
blend it?
gonna, I don't like it when people blend ours because it kills some of the life force in it, right?
Uh-huh.
A high-speed
But if I
blender is
was
gonna
gonna,
kill.
after we're talking, if I wanted to make my own, what would I do?
Well, if you wanted to make your own, but we're talking about high vibes here, so you would want to probably be growing your own wheatgrass, which
Oh
I
shit.
already had a
Okay.
company. Like I taught like 5,500 people came to my home. I sold
Uh-huh.
5,000 juicers for these juicing companies. And then what I found out was like Chad, he was a CPA and he saw me transform my health. He saw Charles heal himself of cancer. Charles is a mortgage broker and Chad was a CPA and I was a financial advisor. Okay. And then I went over to Chad's house and he's like, this is amazing. I want to get the juicer and do all this stuff and yay. And he was buying sprouts for me. We were growing sprouts and delivering them to 40, 60, mostly cancer patients a week in the Portland, Vancouver area. And then I went to Chad's house and I'm looking around, I'm like, where's this juicer at? He comes back in my room. Hey, where's your juicer? And he's like, oh, down below under the cupboard in the back. And I'm like, you're not even juicing. I was like, how come you're not juicing? He's like, well, long story short, I don't want to clean the damn juicer. You want to take the time. Because when you're
No, it's
new
a
at
pain
it,
in the ass. I have a juicer. Yes, it is.
it's expensive. Okay, you got to
Yeah.
buy all the veggies. You got to get them fresh, right? But those vegetables, most of them are dead. They were picked a week ago or two. And if you go to the farmer's market, much better, right? A head of lettuce tested by University of Berkeley in California, hooked up to an enzyme machine, and then harvested 30 minutes later. How much enzymes do you think it was dropped?
I don't
30
know.
minutes, 52%. Right?
Oh,
We are
no.
designed to pick food and eat food. So living food is where it's at. So if you're going to grow your own wheatgrass, juice it, and then slam it. And then I would take sunflower sprouts and pea sprouts and juice those just live and slam it right afterwards with cucumber and celery. You're going to have an awesome juice. That's a living juice. So this is as close to a living juice as possible, this stuff, because we've concentrated the wheatgrass 21 to 1, 33 to 1 to make up, because we know through processing you're going to lose some of the bioavailability. So we designed it to be as close to a fresh pressed juice. There's no foraging. You can do it in your condo, high rise, scoop, water, shake, drink, go to work, do whatever you're doing, live your life, and do it again in the afternoon before dinner. Do that one thing. Watch the energy surge, and then it'll lead that energy. You can do whatever you need.
Very nice. Well, all right. That's the physical part. What do you do? What's your non-negotiable every day for your mindset?
Sacred time.
Oh,
I
tell
have
me
an
more.
hour before I go to sleep.
Mhm.
All the electronics are off. And even before that, I'll put on my blue blocker stuff because I don't want the blue lights. Because I'm trying to get my melatonin production up. That sacred time is where I just do I do me, like whatever that is. I have a ebook, a healing hot bath recipes. I'm really big on baths because I'm all about doing anything that will help people reduce their stress and calm their nervous system so they can heal.
I love that. Love that.
Far infrared saunas, functional movement, a little cold shower, reading books, meditation, prayer, read the Bible, whatever it is for you. And then also that sacred time in the morning. Now, some people can't start off with that hour, like in our coaching program. So minimum of 15 minutes. You got to wedge 15 minutes for yourself every morning. And before you turn on your phone and watch who killed somebody last night in your neighborhood and what the Kardashians are doing, then what you want to do is like just 15 minutes, like get outside, go for a walk, barefoot on the ground, do some exercise, take your supplementation, drink your water, drink your green tea, saunas, whatever it is. Get a routine down that's just you. So that sacred time, that's a non-negotiable for me, morning and night.
Thank you. Good to know. And so simple, right? Like just making time for that.
You did it right before
unplugged
this thing,
space.
right before this podcast.
did.
You said, stop. I'm going to light some sage. I want you to close your eyes, focus on your breathing, bringing us together, connecting the energies, getting us ready so that we can download and share. It's like it's the same thing when it's your life. You wake up, you should do that every morning and every night. Reconnect with yourself. How often have you done that? And it's a wonderful thing.
It's getting intentional. We just go through the motions so fast sometimes and don't take the time to just slow down and be present. And it's so valuable. So, yeah. Well, thank you. Thanks for the shout out too. Also, I got to know, do you still eat bacon?
No. Nope, nope, don't do that
When did,
because
at what point
I
were you
learned from
like,
my
I'm
formulator
kind
was like he told me that it closes the pineal gland, and I know that's the one that you
oh
want open.
shit, does it? It
Yeah,
smells so
he
good.
said, in fact, let me see if
Sorry.
I can remember. There's 5 things. It was pork will close the pineal gland.
Who said
Cooked,
this? Who said
Dr.
this?
Scott Treadway.
Okay.
Cooked spinach, not raw spinach, cooked spinach.
Oh,
He
what?
wasn't clear, but he said
No.
chocolate, like some types of
What?
chocolate,
No.
and then rhubarb. Rhubarb
Okay, fine. I can live
was
without
another
rhubarb.
one, and
Chocolate.
uh,
That's just mean.
it might have been some type of coffee, but I don't want people throwing sticks at me, so I can't remember what it was. But I know for sure the first 4.
No, man. What chocolate? That one gets
But
me.
he's passed
So
away now, so now I can't ask him. Well, maybe I could. Maybe I could just have you could hire you and you could be the medium or something.
but just oh, you've got it covered. You're high vibing enough to be your own medium any day of the week. So yes. Get on your water. I mean, your dry fast, and then
I'm on it. I'm on
you'll
day
channel.
1.
Oh, you're already on it. Today's day
Today's day 1.
one.
Yeah, today's
Oh
day
my
1.
gosh. Okay. Well, I am wishing you well on that. And is there anything, as we're wrapping up today, thank you for everything that you shared. Is there anything that we missed or that you really want to cover before we go? Or is there anything that you really want to leave people with as we're wrapping up?
It's just that like you're an extension of God, whatever that is for you, and God doesn't make mistakes. So if you're feeling like you're a mistake, then you're wrong. But you have the right to believe that. You do. You have
Mm,
the completely valid right to believe that. But
mm,
the bottom line is that you have unlimited potential. And I just want people to follow that formula, follow your joy and your excitement, and do it to the best you can every day. And then when you do that as best you can, then you look around, find out the next most exciting thing, and go do that. Well, it could be calling a friend or going for a walk. It doesn't have to be some big career thing. Everything is connected. And then don't be attached to outcomes and drink 2 green juices a day. That's it. Just drink those 2 green juices a day and get your energy back so you can get the rest of your life back.
beautiful. Well said. And thank you so much, Tim. Can you share how everyone can find you, follow you, perhaps get your green juice?
Yeah. So our website's chemicalfreebody.com. We're also on Instagram, and I'm also on Instagram at chemical free body guy, GY. And so we
Great.
just
That'll
finally have a
easy
good
enough.
yeah, we finally have a good social media person now helping us out, so that's awesome.
Great.
Because before it was just like not so good. So we're raising our vibes over here.
All raising all in all directions. I love that. And of course, everything will be in the show notes too. And I'd encourage everyone to go check it all out and learn more. So just thank you so much. I'm really thrilled that we did this today, and I wish you well on your fasting journey, however long it lands. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. And thanks to
Thanks,
listeners
Tim.
for tuning in. Appreciate you guys.
And thank you so much for being here today. That was really interesting stuff. I just do want to say, exercise any precaution with fasting. Like, I've heard too many stories that scare me, and people can get really wrapped up in some things that can be detrimental to their health. So it sounds like he's doing it very safely and he's very educated, but I just like, I don't know. I am cautious around that, and I want to encourage you to be cautious too. So thank you so much. Though there was so much cool stuff in there, and it was super interesting. And we are made of all the ingredients that we put in. So what are you putting in? Right? You're putting in this show. Oh my God, that makes me so happy, right? I'm here to put good ingredients into you because they really do matter. Excuse me, and I'm so grateful for you. And yeah, if you haven't checked out the new show too, it is called Anything But Mid with my co-host Whitney Strop. And it is taking everything that we do here and putting it in the real world. And we deep dive into a different topic every week. And we talk about all sorts of stuff, all sorts of stuff. So check it out. It's linked in the show notes, and it's got its own YouTube and all that. Anything But Mid. because we're in midlife, but we're anything but mid. Hello. Yes. Y'all know I've been talking about that forever, right? And so anyway, what else do I want to mention? My hair, I got it redone. I got some new extensions put in. It's the Collective ATX. So if you need the best extensions, that's where to go. Right here in good old ATX. And we got Skyrock Sedona. If you're headed to Sedona, check them out. They're good people. And there's a discount code for that Marriott property, and it's in the show notes. And what else? Thanks, Podcast Magician, our podcast editors. So grateful for them. Connect with me anywhere at Really Me Edwards on Instagram, at Anything But Mid on Instagram. Connect with me for my newsletter. Like, that's super easy to find. amyedwards.info. Everything's there. If you want to contribute to Fight for Her, our women's initiative underneath Fight for the Forgotten, oh my gosh, my heart is bursting with that, because they're starting businesses for the first time. They're having healthcare for the first time. I mean, like, it's exciting. Really, really exciting stuff. So girls getting education. We're going to be opening a school next year. And I mean, like, it's so exciting. You know, when you give back, you shine brighter. I'm a firm believer. And this whole season of my life, that has been something I've been learning. And so I encourage you to find ways to give back in your community now more than ever. You know, the holiday season, people need it, and people need your love and your energy. And so, you know, do the things that Tim says, right? Take care of yourself. Watch what you're putting in. When your energy starts to get higher, then you're more able to give back, right? You're giving from a full cup that stays full, right? Not an empty cup. So anyway, I digress. Thanks for being here today. I love you so much. Keep shining bright. Till next time.
Thank you so much for being here. Please rate, review, and follow us. And we'd love to hear your feedback. Keep shining bright.